If you're watching this video, I know that you've got somebody in your life that you don't understand and really struggle to engage with. You're looking for answers on Google because you can't get a straight answer out of them. You're struggling to explain and teach things that they should have learned in kindergarten, like basic social skills. These are some of the red flags that could point to the potential of narcissistic personality disorder. And since people with narcissistic personality disorder don't think of themselves as the problem, they almost never officially get diagnosed, so those around them kind of have to just figure it out on their own. Now, in your online search, you may have learned that people who have narcissistic personality disorder can present in different variations and intensities. You may have heard terms like grandiose narcissist, malignant narcissist, covert narcissist, antagonistic narcissist, and so on. All these different categories can make an already complicated relationship feel even more confusing and overwhelming. However, I'm here with a few common denominators to help simplify your understanding of how a narcissistic person thinks so you can be better prepared to protect yourself. Hello everyone, my name is Tia and I'm a licensed psychotherapist. I make videos to offer tips to improve the relationship with yourself and with other people. So make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you never miss more tips from a therapist. Today, we're looking into the mind of a narcissistic person. People with narcissistic personality disorder are different from people without it. That's why they have a distinction label of narcissistic to help categorize and differentiate them. Like how apples and oranges are both fruits, oranges have a distinction of being a citrus. But why are narcissistic people so different? Where does narcissistic personality disorder come from? When it comes to narcissistic personality disorder, which is different than narcissistic tendencies, they're born with it. There's a genetic component or brain malfunction that doesn't allow for full cognitive development. Both personality disorders and developmental disorders, like autism, are categorized as pervasive, meaning that they will always exist and there is no cure. Understanding how narcissistic people think differently from us begins with understanding how their brains are different. Neurobiologically, their brain chemistry has consequential differences. They have disorganization in their cognitive processing, so they don't think or process language the same way that we do. They have a reduced prefrontal cortex inhibition and disordered impulse control, so they can't regulate themselves the way other people can. And their amygdala and limbic system has excessive reactivity, so their emotions and moods are more erratic and intense than other people's. All of this contributes to their inability to accurately perceive and deal with reality, tolerate stress, and have healthy relationships with others. Personality disorders are not merely learned behavior or a result of traumatic history or a dysfunction in upbringing. It is not rooted in insecure attachment, and it isn't a wounded inner child. Now, a narcissistic person may try to manipulate you by using these things as an excuse for their behavior, but I'm here to tell you it's not true. Yeah, they may have had bad things happen to them in the past, but that did not cause their narcissism. In fact, research has shown that we can tell whether or not someone has narcissistic personality disorder by age 2. You need to acknowledge the neurobiological differences before you can fully understand how a narcissistic person thinks and therefore appropriately protect yourself. Now, when you inevitably get into conflict with a narcissistic person, you need to understand that narcissistic people do not have the same objective as you. When disagreements arise, non-narcissistic people are looking to resolve the conflict. You seek to understand the other person and reasonably expect that that other person cares about understanding you too. You care about emotional safety, validation, collaboration, and respect. For a non-narcissistic person, their ultimate objective is to find a mutually beneficial outcome that leads to more closeness. The objective of narcissistic people, on the other hand, is to affirm their own rightness. They are not interested in solving problems if doing so requires acknowledgement of their wrongness. They will deny, dismiss, and distort reality to avoid any accountability of changing behavior that negatively impacts other people. When disagreements arise, they seek to discredit your experience and prioritize their own. No one's opinion or feelings matter except for theirs. Their ultimate objective is gaining power and exerting control over others to build a narrative that suits them. They don't want to resolve. They want to restrain, to influence others through force or coercion. To a narcissistic person, being wrong would be the destruction of themselves. They don't just think they're right all the time, they are always right. Their whole identity and sense of safety is rooted in their rightness. So when you try to hold them accountable or reason with them, to them, it feels like an existential threat. That's why they'll never let you in, because the stakes are too high for them. The next thing you need to understand is that not only do narcissistic people have different objectives, they also have totally different tools in order to achieve those objectives. Non-narcissistic people are emotionally mature and capable of collaborative cognitive reasoning. We have the humility, self-awareness, personal responsibility, empathy, and reliability to pursue our objective of conflict resolution. We want to have intimacy, closeness, mutual accountability, clear communication, and win-win solutions. We prioritize collaboration and mutual well-being. We actually care about the we and us. Furthermore, we have a moral conscience that prevents us from playing dirty and treating people as less than ourselves. Now, if you're interested in learning more about emotional maturity and signs of it, check out my previous video about that. Narcissistic people, on the other hand, don't have any of those nice tools that I just mentioned. In fact, they have a pervasive impairment. They are emotionally immature and are incapable of collaborative cognitive reasoning. They're inflexible, rigid, and lack the give and take possessed by non-narcissistic people. Instead, they use a totally different set of tools. They distort reality, deny all accountability for wrongdoing, and dismiss any harm that they cause you or somebody else. They lie, they twist your words, and accuse you of things to take the heat off of themselves. They project their issues onto you, gaslight you, and blame you for their abusive behaviors, so you're always the one that's at fault. They are Olympians in mental gymnastics and can shapeshift themselves to never be the one at fault. And when they can't force you to do what they want, they play the victim, emotionally coerce and punish you when you aren't doing what they want you to do. For narcissistic people, there is no we, only me, myself, and I. Now, I know this can be really confusing because it's not always bad. Narcissistic people also have the tool of love bombing, which can make us think they do care about us. They come on strong with flattery and gifts in order to outshine their abusive behaviors. But listen to me closely. Intensity is not intimacy. Consider what Aristotle said. We are what we repeatedly do. So ask yourself, what is this person most often like? Outside of the love bombing stage, narcissistic people are not interested in seeking to understand your perspective, care about your feelings, or willing to meet your needs when it's inconvenient for them. In fact, the vulnerability that you shared with them in that love bombing phase was later used against you, wasn't it? It was just part of a long game of you lose and I win by any means necessary. And if you're struggling to tell the difference between real love and love bombing, check out my previous video on the subject. Understanding how a narcissistic person thinks comes down to knowing that you're not playing the same game, you're not playing by the same rules, and you don't even have the same equipment. Now, I've got so much to say on this topic, so stay tuned for more content about how to understand narcissistic people and how to heal from narcissistic abuse. Now, if you'd like a more in-depth understanding of the tactics and tricks that narcissistic people use, let me know in the comment section below. Did you find this video helpful? What else would you like to know about this topic? Let us know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.